Hi, this is Rachel, and this is my 1 hour yoga practice. So we're going to begin in a seated position. You can cross your legs or kneel down, whatever is comfortable for you. I'm just going to lengthen up the spine just for one moment. And you can look forward or keep a soft gaze. You're just bringing the length into the back and just sitting up as straight as you can. And just taking a couple of breaths here. I'm going to lean my right ear over my right shoulder. Just let the weight of the head allow a stretch there on the left side of the neck. I'm going to inhale back to center and then drop the left ear over the left shoulder. Just make sure your shoulders are down and away from the ears so you can get that full stretch along the neck there. I'm going to come back to center and then I'm going to uncross my legs if they're crossed and bring them over to the right side. So the both feet over to the right. The heels in near the hips so you can keep your spine lengthened, and you can use your fingertips on the floor so your legs are on top of each other, so they're not directly on top of each other. As you can see, there's some space there. And you'll inhale, and then I'm going to raise the left arm up and over. I'm going to rest the palm of the right hand on the ground to the right and just enjoy the stretch along the left side of the body. Just to make sure you have no tension in the neck there. You can either hold it up or you can let it drop down a little bit. I'm going to hold it up just to not strain anything on my neck as I'm getting this side body stretch. Inhale back to center. Then I'm going to swing over the legs to the left side. Again, lengthen up, and then your left palm on the ground to the left, the right arm up and over. Feel like something is pulling you by your fingertips over to the left side, so you're really getting a stretch along that right side body. And make sure your chest is not collapsing inwards, but it's open. I'm going to inhale back to center. I'm going to swing the legs over to the left, to the right again. I'm going to lengthen up. And then I'm going to put my left palm just underneath the right knee. And I'm going to swing my right fingers around, just coming into a little twist. Again, looking off to the right or maybe over the right, or in the direction of the right shoulder. And while we're here, we can swing around and put the right hand on the top, just under the left knee, and do a twist on the other side. Inhale back to center, and then I'm going to swing the legs over to the left, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to do a twist on each side. We'll begin with the right hand just under the left knee, and swing that left arm behind you. You can have your fingers tented on the floor behind you. Take a few breaths here. Spine is lengthened. You inhale and then exhale into the twist. Then I inhale back to center. I'm going to swing around to the other side, left palm just under the right knee, right fingertips behind me, tented. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. I'm going to inhale, come back to center, and I'm going to come onto my knees. So I'm going to sit on my heels so I can keep the knees together. Your bum on your heels. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And I'm just going to, again, just do another little slight side body stretch. So left palm on the floor beside you, just out to the left bit, the right arm up and over. You can go out a little bit more with that left palm and bend to the elbow and come down for a deeper right body stretch, or you can come the palm or bring the palm in a little bit and keep that left arm straight. Whatever you feel like today, maybe going in and out of it. Inhale, you can come back to center, and then right palm on the floor, left arm up and over. Just always, again, make sure you're not collapsing in the chest, but the chest is open. Inhale back to center. You can bring your shoulders up to your ears and back down along your body a couple times. You can circle the head in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. You can come back to center. Inhale, raise your arms up alongside the ears, palms facing inwards towards each other. Inhale, look up, bring the palms together, bring them down to the chest, Anjali Mudra. And maybe smile here to bring some lightness back into your practice. I'm going to release the hands and tent the fingers just beside my hips. Just make sure the chest is open. You can look up slightly or just in front of you. But looking up slightly will just give that little bit of a more openness. Inhale, and then I'm going to move just on my mat, but you can stay where you are if it makes sense for you. But I'm going to come to a tabletop position on my mat. Knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. And I'm just going to look over my left shoulder. So my right hip is going to go out to the right a little bit. So you're again feeling that side body stretch on the right side. Inhale back to center, and then you're looking over the right shoulder, left hips just slightly over to the left. I'm going to come back to center. Inhale, let the belly drop and look up. So you're doing a cow, and then exhale around the spine. Drop the head, cat, and just do a few of those on your own breath. I'm then going to bring my left foot back, so I'm going to curl under the toes, lengthen out that left leg, and you can slightly move forward, just slightly over your shoulder, slightly over the wrists, and then back, and then over, so you're getting a stretch along the back of that left leg. Maybe you stop as you're leaning back a little bit and really stretch into the calf. And then I'm going to bring up the right foot and swing it out at a 45-degree angle, so keeping the tops of the foot on the ground, but that lower leg is at that 45-degree angle, and then you'll bring the left foot onto the big toe side of that foot. Keep your right hand where it is, bring the left arm up, so you're aiming to have the arms in one line. You can leave the left foot on the ground like this, or you can raise it up so that the ankle is in line with the hip. You can look off towards the left. And again, just make sure you have secure there in your cores, and you're using the core muscles to hold you in place. You're not just collapsing into that right palm and that right leg, but you have the full body integrity there in all the muscles. And then you can release that right or that left palm down. You can flip over that left foot, bring that right foot in line with the right knee. And you're coming back to where you started. You can bring that left knee down so you're back in tabletop. You can do a couple cat-cows here just in the middle of that. I'm going to come back to center, and I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So you are going to bring the right foot back with the toes flipped over, that right leg lengthened. Again, I'm going to get a little stretch along the back of that leg by coming over the wrists slightly, just being mindful there, and then back. And then I'm going to come to center, and I will lift, or you can actually stay there a moment and just lift up the left foot and bring it out slightly so that lower left leg is at a 45-degree angle. Bring over onto the big toe side of that right foot, and you can raise the right arm up into the air. You can lift that right foot if you like to keep it in line with the right hip. And you can look off to the right side and just take a few breaths here, again making sure that you're not collapsing in or putting too much pressure on one point, but you're trying to evenly distribute the weight or the pressure. You know, you're using the muscles in their core to keep that right leg up, keeping the chest open, keeping the weight balanced between that left palm and the left leg. There's a lot to remember in each pose, but that's what brings you into the moment, brings you into your body. And then I'm going to swing my right palm down, bring my right knee down, swing over that left foot so you're back in tabletop. And you can do a couple cat-cows here if you like as well. Then I'm going to bring my two big toes together and bring my knees out to the width of the mat. Sit back onto my heels or in that direction. And bring the arms out in front, palms on the mat. And you can rest maybe your forehead on a block or maybe directly on the mat. And just make sure there's a good bit of length there in the arms. And then when you're inhaling and exhaling, you're feeling that stretch in the back body. And the back is expanding as you inhale. You're getting a nice stretch there. I'm going to raise up my head and bring my right palm out to the right side. So bring it as far as you like. You just want to make sure that when your right palm is down and you're going to bring your left palm over on top of that right, top of that hand. You make sure you're getting a nice stretch. So it depends on you. You might have to bring the right hand over more and the left palm on top of that right hand to get a nice stretch along the left side body in this case. And then you can rest your head down on that block again or directly onto the mat. And again, as you're inhaling, you're feeling that stretch along the right side body. You're feeling the expansion there as you inhale. As you exhale, it's relaxing. That attention in the poses again brings you back into your body, into the moment. You can inhale, raise the head up and bring that left palm back, that right palm back, and then you go off to the opposite side. So bring that left palm off to the left-hand side, off the mat. Again, you can bring it as far or as close as you need, but you just want to make sure that when you bring the right palm down, you bring your head down in the direction of the mat, that you're feeling a decent stretch there along the right side body. I'm going to inhale, raise the head, bring the palms back again to the mat in line with the shoulders. Inhale, look forward. You can come up off the heels. So you can keep your extended child's pose. You can see your legs where they are, but your just bum is up. Just make sure again the wrists are under the shoulders. You take an inhale here. Again, remembering your core, remembering all the different body parts working together to bring one pose in alignment. And then I'm going to bring that left palm out, just maybe a half of hand or maybe a full hand, just up forward slightly, so that when you bring your right hand up and into the air, and then exhale, bring it down, and you're bringing it underneath that left arm. And I'm not going to come directly down onto the mat. I'm just going to kind of swing it under here, your right hand, and then on my inhale, I'm going to bring it back up into the air. Exhale, swing it in and under that left arm. Maybe your left elbow bends slightly. As you go down, you should feel a nice stretch and twist there in the back. Inhale as I bring my right arm up into the air. And then exhale in and under. Inhale up. And I'm going to bring that right palm to the mat. And I'm just going to bring it out slightly in front. So we're just positioning for the other side. And then I'm going to inhale with the left arm and do the same thing, under and over. Again, I'm not resting on that left arm. I'm using the strength of my right palm of my hand. Maybe bending at that right elbow slightly to bring me down a little bit lower, but not fully. And then I'm going to inhale, bring that left arm up into the air. Exhale, twist over to the right. Inhale up. Exhale in and under that right arm. Inhale up. I'm going to bring that left palm down to the mat. I'm going to come with my wrists underneath my shoulders again, just make sure I'm in alignment. And just stay here for a breath. And then I'm going to bring my knees back in so that they're in line with the ankles. And then I'm going to raise my right foot up in the air, right foot flex. So your knee is in line with your hip, and then your right knee is bent and your knee is in line with your ankle as well. So you're creating a little 90-degree angle there at your knee. And I'm going to lengthen out the right leg. Exhale, bend at the right knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. And you can do a few of those on your own, maybe up to maybe about 5. Again, you're using your core strength here along with balancing on your palms and on your left knee. And then I'm going to bend again at that right knee and bring the right knee in and under. And you can either bring the knee close to or maybe kiss it with the nose. And then you bring the right foot up and forward and plant that right foot on the ground. And I'm going to do half splits, but I'm going to keep that right foot planted. I'm going to inhale, just make sure your chest is open, my fingers are tented, and I'm just lengthening that right leg. And just enjoying that stretch there along the right leg. Just trying to keep this hip still in line, you're not falling over to any side. And again, you can keep a bit of length there in the back as much as you can. So we're not trying to round over or drop the head. We still have the neck and the head looking slightly forward. And then I'm going to bring that right foot, or bring that right knee over that right ankle again. And then I'm going to roll back onto the heel, so I'm flexing that right foot. And then I'm bringing my fingertips back and sitting on that left heel. So the right leg is obviously lengthened. I'm down on the palms of my hands. They're just alongside the knees at the moment. I'm going to inhale and lengthen and look forward. And I'm going to bring my palms as forward as I can, close to or maybe in alignment with that right heel. And now you can round over the spine and drop the head. You're going to feel a really nice stretch in the back of that right leg. And just stay here for a few breaths to really stretch out the back of that right leg. Again, try to keep a bit of balance there between the hips, so you're not dropping completely over onto the left hip because you're resting on the left heel. But try to keep the hips in alignment and try to keep a bit of attention there and awareness there of what the hips are doing. I'm going to inhale, look forward, raise up off that left heel, bring the right foot flat to the mat, come up on my fingertips, bring the right knee over the right ankle. Inhale, look forward, and I'm going to plant my palms alongside the right foot. And then I'm going to flip over the toes of the left foot and bring that knee slightly back. So you're getting a nice stretch here along the inner thighs and the pelvis. I'm going to flip onto the top of that left foot. Inhale, look forward, maybe come up onto the fingertips to get a little deeper stretch. And just rest here for a moment, just feeling the stretch there in the groin, the pelvis. And I'm going to plant the palms and bring that left foot back and in. So I'm coming back into my tabletop position. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to bring that left leg up in the air with the knee bent, foot flexed, 90-degree angle at that left knee. And then I'm going to lengthen out on my inhale so the leg is in one line. Exhale, heel up to, or the sole of the foot up to the ceiling. Inhale, lengthen. And can do there a few, maybe 5 on that side again. Following your breath. And again, making sure you have an awareness in all parts of the body, not just in the one motion you're doing or the one pose you're trying to execute. It's about bringing balance to the entire body, strength to the entire body, and balance to the entire body. And I'm going to bend that left knee again. Bring the knee up and in, maybe kissing the right nose or close to it. Plant that left sole of the foot. I'm going to lengthen the left leg, keeping the sole of the foot on the mat. Inhale, look forward. Maybe you're on your palms or maybe your fingertips are tented. You can keep your wrists in line with the back of that left heel, or if your fingertips are tented, just make sure that your thumbs and your index fingers are in line with that left heel. Just enjoy the stretch in that left leg. And then I'm going to plant my palms and come forward so that the left knee is over the left ankle. And then I'm going to move back. So we're going to tent the fingers, come up onto the heel of that left foot, flex that left foot, and then you can bring your fingers, slowly slide them back in line with that left, well, both the knees. And as you're bringing your bum down to your heels, your knees will be in alignment. Lengthen up the spine as you're back here. And then you can bring the palms down on the ground and again bring them as much forward as you can go so that you feel a nice stretch along that left back of that left leg. Round the spine, allow the head to hang, and just enjoy this stretch here for a few breaths. I'm going to inhale, look forward, bring the fingertips back in line with the right, or with both knees, lengthen the spine, bring the bum up, and then you bring your fingertips forward. You can plant the hands on each side of that left foot, and then curl over the right toes, and you're just doing that so you can bring your knee back a little bit more so that you can deepen the stretch there in the pelvis. And then you can inhale, look forward, and just allow the inner thighs to stretch there and enjoy that. Again, you can come up on your fingertips and look forward slightly. And then I'm going to plant my palms like I did on the other side and bring that left foot back. So I'm coming back into a tabletop. I'm going to bring the knees together, come back to sit on the heels, roll the shoulders back, up, back and down, lengthen the spine. And then I'm going to come forward again. Flip over the feet, come back into a downward dog. You can walk your dog out there to get a nice stretch along the back line of the legs again. I'm going to bring that right foot up and into the air. Bend at the right knee, coming in. Kiss the nose or near the nose. Plant the right foot on the ground. Inhale, look forward. I'm going to lengthen that right leg with the foot planted on the ground like we were doing earlier, but the left knee is now up off the ground. And then I'm going to bend to the right knee, look forward, and raise my arms up into the air. And you can bring your attention back to your balance there whenever you go out of balance. Your arms are alongside your ears. And again, you're stretching in the inner thighs, the pelvis, as you're lowering down your hips and you're making sure that your alignment is all in place. Your knee over your right ankle. I'm going to bend to or straighten that right leg. Come up like someone was pulling me at the fingertips. Bring my fingertips down on either side of that right foot. And then I'm going to spring that left foot up to meet the right foot. And I'm coming into a forward fold. I'm just going to sway here. I'm going to hold each elbow with opposite hands. Just allow a little sway, a little motion there into the body. I'm going to release the arms, fingertips alongside the toes, and lengthen the spine. Exhale, release, and then inhale, arms up alongside the ears. Arms down alongside the body, palms just facing slightly forward alongside the legs. Tadasana. Just going to come around on my mat. Just make sure your feet are hip width apart. I'm going to lengthen up the arms. Come down, a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen the spine. I'm going to tent the fingers alongside the feet, and I'm going to bring that left foot back. So I'm in a low lunge now. The right knee over the right ankle. You could plant the palms, and if you're planting the palms, you keep the wrists in line with the back of that right heel. And then I'm going to bring the right palm inside the foot and bring the right foot along the line of the right side length of the mat. The palms of the hands are in line with the arch of that right foot. And you're in lizard pose. So you can stay here. Maybe you'll bring back the left toes slightly, hop them back a little bit. You might come down onto your wrists, or sorry, onto your forearms. You would keep your elbows in line with that right heel if you're coming down. You can allow the head to hang if you're coming down. Take a few breaths here in lizard. You can come up out of it into downward dog or child's pose if it becomes too much. It's always your choice. I'm going to drop that right knee, flip onto the top of that left foot, come up onto my palms, bring them back in alignment with that right arch. Inhale, look forward. I'm going to bring that right foot into have my two palms on either side of that right foot again. And then I'm going to flip over the back toes, bring that right foot back so I'm back in downward dog. And just take a few breaths here. Again, you could also be doing child's pose. I'm going to bring that left foot up, bring the knee in and maybe kissing or maybe near the nose, and then plant the left foot on the ground. Inhale, look forward, and then I'm going to raise the arms up alongside the ears, high lunge. And you're looking for that nice stretch in the pelvic region. So just make sure your right or your left knee is over the left ankle and that you're allowing the hips to go down a little bit so that you're getting that nice stretch and that the back leg is lengthened. I'm going to bring the fingertips down and maybe the palms down. And then I'm going to bring that right foot up to meet the left. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release. And then I'm going to inhale, raise the arms up alongside the ears. And bring the arms down alongside the legs. Palms facing forward, Tadasana, mountain pose. And again, your feet should be hip width apart. Well, that's what we're currently doing. Some people like to keep their feet together in Tadasana. So you could try either or and see how you feel about that. I always like to usually keep them hip width apart just so I have that balance there. But it can be a nice test to bring the feet together. Always keep a little distance between the heels if you're doing that. I'm going to raise my arms up alongside the ears. Fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. You can tent the fingers either side of the feet. Bring that right leg back. And I'm just going to inhale and look forward. I'll bring that left foot out so that the outside of that left foot is in line with the length of the left side of the mat. Plant the palms inside that left foot in line with the arch. Again, you're doing lizard on the opposite side. Make sure there's nice length in that back right leg. Again, you can stay here. You're looking down or maybe slightly forward. I'm going to lift up that back right toes that are curled over and just hop back a smidge. And then come back or come down onto my forearms. Allow my head to hang. Take a few breaths here. And I'm going to lower that right knee, come onto the top of that right foot. Going to come up, palms on the ground. Bring that left foot in between the palms again. Inhale, look forward. Curl onto the right toes again. Lift up that right knee, bring that left foot back so you're in your downward dog again. Or child's pose. And I'm just going to take a few breaths here. Maybe shake the head left and right, maybe up and down, just to make sure there's no tension there, there's no holding. Just allowing it to hang. I'm going to come down onto my knees, tabletop. And then I'm going to swing my legs over to the left. So I'm just going to come onto a seated position with my legs out in front of me, lengthened. I'm going to pull back my sit bones, just make sure the fleshy part is away so I'm directly on my sit bones as I sit down. And then you can inhale and lengthen the spine, bring the feet together. Palms on the thighs, or maybe a flat on the mat on either side of the hip. So you're in Dandasana staff pose. And I'm going to bring my feet together. So cobbler's pose. So the soles of the feet together and the knees dropped out. You can hold at the ankles or just above the ankles. Again, just make sure there's length in the spine. And as you come forward, you can either leave the hands there on the ankles, or maybe you interlock the fingers and hold the toes here, like cupping them. Bring the elbows out and in front of the shins. And then you can round over the spine, let the head hang. You can just enjoy this opening here, or you can move the knees slightly. So this will be butterfly pose. So you'll definitely feel it on your inner thighs and the groin area if you do this. But it can be really nice to release some energy there if you feel any tightness in your hips, or generally you feel you hold energy there quite a bit. It feels like a nice little release. Alternatively, you can just have some stillness here. It can be really nice to hold these poses for maybe longer than usual. Just to really feel that length, that stretch in whatever pose you're in. Always feel free to come out of it, as I mentioned previously, into a position that's more suitable for you in this moment, or maybe a resting pose. Inhale, I'm going to look forward, lengthen the spine, and then I'm going to come around to the front just so you can see me, but I'm going to bring the left heel into the groin, bring the right heel right in front so that the heels are in alignment, so they're in one line. Inhale, I'm going to hold along the top of that right foot and the right shin with each palm and just lengthen the spine. Look forward, you can keep your eyes closed. And then I'm going to bring my palms out in front. They might only get this far, you might be able to go further, but you're just folding over, keeping your sit bones on the floor. So if your hips are coming up, you can move back and just rest up here. There's no need to try to go as far as you can forward if other parts of your body are coming out of alignment. Wherever you are, keep your palms flat on the mat. And if you're moving more forward slightly like I am, you can round over and let the head hang. You can also keep length as I showed you previously. Inhale, raise up your head, your hands, your chest. Look forward. Then just change over. So bring your right heel in towards your pelvis or your groin, and your left heel again in alignment with that right heel. Lengthen up and then fold forward. I'm going to inhale now and raise up again, lengthen up along the spine. And I'm going to bring that top of that left foot on top of, or in near the crease of that left hip, and just rest that right leg down over that left ankle, that left foot. So you're coming into half lotus. So you can rest the tops of the palms up towards the ceiling on top of the knees. Lengthen the spine. Inhale, release that right foot so you can bring you're just switching over. So bring that right foot in, the top of it in towards or on the crease of that right hip. You're resting the right leg on top of that right ankle, the left leg on top of that right foot and right ankle. You're lengthening up. Again, you can place the top of the hands on the knees, palms facing towards the ceiling. Take a few breaths here. And then I'm going to release my legs again. I'm going to just go lengthways on my mat, but you stay where you are if you're already there. And then I'm going to bring my feet flat on the mat, knees bent, my palms alongside either side of my hips, lengthen the spine. I'm going to drop my knees over to the right. Well, actually, I'll drop them over to the left to begin with. So I'm bringing the knees over to the left. I'm going onto that left hip. I'm bringing my fingertips over to the left side, around the behind me, so that my either palms or my fingertips are tented, but I'm twisting my torso and I'm looking back towards the back of my mat. So the wrists are in line with the shoulders, thereabouts. So you're getting a nice twist there. Inhale. And just remember to inhale and exhale to fully get the benefits of a twist. It's as if you're rinsing out the inside. I always think of it as like when you're wringing out a towel or a tea towel or a dishcloth. That's what a twist feels like. You're wringing out your internal organs there, cleaning yourself out from the inside. And then I'm going to release that. I'm going to swing around, so bring the palms to either side of the hips so I can bring them in alignment again. I'm going to drop off my knees to the right, come onto the right hip, twist around to the opposite side, looking back towards the back of the mat. Take a few breaths here. And then I'm going to come back to center again. Palms flat on either side of the hips. I'm going to bring my hips slightly forward, so my palms are behind my hips now, and I'm going to bring my feet to the width of the mat, and I'm going to drop my knees over to the right. Just make sure the chest is open, you're looking forward or slightly up. And I'm going to bring my feet planted on the mat again and drop my knees over to the left. So you can do this a few times on either side, just as you're exhaling, you're twisting, as you're inhaling, you're bringing your knees up, your feet flat on the mat, and then exhaling on the twist on the opposite side, keeping your chest open as you go. This is also a nice little massage on the sit bones. Now as I do my last one, I'll just come back to center. Make sure your chest is open again. I'm going to bring my feet back hip width distance apart. Make sure my hands are nice and planted, then raise your hips up off the floor. So you're doing a reverse table stop, so you may need to readjust your feet there. And allow your head either to look up in the direction of the ceiling or maybe drop it down the back. Release any tension there. As long as your neck is comfortable, is there any discomfort? And I'm going to bring my bum back down to the ground in between my two palms. Bring my feet together. So I am back in Dandasana staff pose. I'm going to do one little extra twist here. So I'm going to bring my right palm on the outer edge of that left thigh. Bring my fingertips around behind me. It's just another little gentle twist. Looking off to the left, or maybe over that left shoulder. Or rather in the direction of that left shoulder. And then I come back to center and I do that on the opposite side. And then I'm going to come back to lay flat on the mat. So you can come back so that your feet are flat on the mat, your bum is forward so that you have room to lie back down. You can rest your palms on your knees and just slowly come back to lie flat on the mat. You can bring the legs out long. Inhale and exhale here. Just remember to always bring attention to the breath, and you can move the toes, the feet over left to right. So just get a little wrist motion there, or sorry, a little ankle motion. So a little stretch on the ankles. I'm going to bring the feet flat on the mat so that the back is nice and flattened and fully to the ground. Then I'm going to tilt the pelvis, so there'll be a little bit of space there, just on the lower back. The pelvis is tilted so that you could almost just slide your left hand, your palm of your hand underneath that space. And then as you exhale, or actually as you inhale, you're flattening your back. And you exhale, you're tilting your pelvis. Inhale, flatten that back just directly to the mat. Exhale, tilt. You can do that a few times there. That usually feels really nice on the low back. And I'm just going to bring my right knee in towards my chest and interlace my fingertips, my fingers, and bring them around to the shin bone of that right leg. Going to lengthen that left leg out and just bring that knee in as close as I can get it. This will really feel it along the top of the front thigh, especially along the crease there of that right thigh. You might move your knee in and out, in towards the chest, out towards the direction of the shoulder. It's very slight, but it's really, you can really feel it there. And then I'm going to raise that right foot to the ground. Bring the left knee in, your interlocked fingers along the left shin. Lengthen out the right leg, and you're going to do the same thing with the left leg. Again, you can keep stillness, or you can do that little motion, the knee in and out. Make sure your right foot is flexed and that you're not forgetting it, let it flop, that we're remembering all parts of the body. And I'm going to bring that left foot flat to the mat, then I'm going to lengthen out the left leg. Bring the heels to the edges of the mat, so the left heel to the left edge, the right heel to the right edge. So they're more than hip width apart. Bring your palms down alongside the legs, but facing upwards or slightly inwards. Again, just make sure your shoulders are down away from the ears, your back is as flat as possible to the mat. You might need to readjust your sit bones there just to bring a bit more length into the back. And just rest here in Shavasana. So we're at the end of our practice and we're just allowing all that movement, that stretching, that twisting to rest and ease into the body. Always stay in Shavasana as long as you wish, or as long as you can. And if you feel like you're finished your Shavasana, you can finish up with me or continue on if you like. But I'm going to bring the feet flat to the mat. And I'm, rather than moving over to one side, I'm going to bring my knees up, bring my palms to my knees. I'm going to rock up to sitting. So you can rock along the back once or twice. And then I'm going to come up to a seated position of your choice. I'm going to cross over my legs into a nice easy seated pose. I'm going to close my eyes so you can keep a soft gaze. Lengthen the back. The tops of my hands are on my knees, palms up towards the ceiling. And I'm going to bring the palms together. I'm going to bring them up towards my forehead. And I'm going to say namaste here. Thank you for joining me. I hope this practice was useful to you, and I hope you'll come again and enjoy practice with me again. Thank you so much. Bye now.